Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Plastic Surgery 90210. Happy 2026.
Happy 2026.
Yeah.
Gotta get used to saying that.
That's so weird. This is our first podcast of the year.
Yep.
And today we're going to be talking about the trends that were going on in plastic surgery and just in general across the world last year, as well as Looksmaxxing. Have you heard of that?
Sort of.
Okay, we're going to dive deep, but
right.
we are also sponsored by our friends over at Fairgrounds. What do you have today?
We have the matcha latte, one of my favorites, with
Yes.
oat milk. What do you have?
I have an oat milk latte.
Oh, yummy.
Yes,
Cheers.
Some
Happy
things don't
2026.
change. Yes, happy 2026.
Mm.
So it sounds like these people online, specifically like Gen Zers, are looksmaxxing to try to maximize their looks, appearances, but sometimes they're taking it to kind of crazy lengths.
Yeah.
You know, like I've seen people smash their bones and stuff, like to try to get...
Isn't that crazy?
It's pretty insane. So we're going to watch this little clip that we found, and then we'll insert it into the video.
Looksmaxxing is a relatively new term that refers mostly to men looking to maximize their physical appearance.
To reap the benefits that they see of being more attractive, so better outcomes in education, better outcomes in employment, but particularly to be more appealing on the heterosexual dating market.
In a new study by Dalhousie University, researchers examined thousands of comments on social media connected to looksmaxxing. Some of the practices appear harmless, like one called mewing.
And that's pressing the tip of your tongue against the roof of your mouth to make your jaw more masculine.
But in other cases, the research found growing numbers of men are encouraged to go on diets or even undergo surgical procedures to alter their bodies. Others become demoralized, which can lead to unhealthy behaviors, including self-harm. All part of participating in the online community known as the manosphere.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on that?
Good and bad. I mean, I think it's good to be engaged with your physical appearance, you know, how you project both externally and internally. That's on many, many planes, personal plane, professional plane. But as with anything, you can take it to the extreme. Going on a diet is not necessarily a bad thing. It can be good for your health and physical motivation. But like anything, you can take it to the extreme. So some of those things they were mentioning, like scary things like plastic surgery or you know, liposuction. Those are a little bit more extreme than sort of daily makeup, but in our world it's sort of an accepted realm.
It's hard to say too because a lot of these are young kids trying to, you know, do things to their bodies. Sometimes they're even injecting like fillers that they see online. So, I mean, we know that that can be very dangerous and we know what the long-term effects of that are.
Correct.
Also, people just shouldn't be self-injecting anything, really.
Anything, correct. I mean, if you're thinking about fillers or injectables, seek a professional, you know, plastic surgeon, dermatologist, things like that. Get professional opinions. Don't just read on TikTok and then do your injections by yourself in front of a mirror. I think that's very dangerous.
Yeah, I think a lot of the looksmaxxing stuff that I've seen, at least the before and afters, a lot of it did have to do with some weight loss, but a lot of it also had to do with maturing, because a lot of these people that are posting their looksmaxxing results before and afters, before they were young, they had a lot of baby fat, you know, so they just kind of, they had a glow up because they grew up. Okay, so let's take a look at one of those.
All right.
So what do you see there for the difference for him? Because he says this was 4 months apart.
Yeah, could happen. You know, I think if you look at his chest, I think he's worked out a lot more. I think he's dropped weight. I think he's lost some body fat, maybe gained some muscle mass. So I think that is possible. But again, in this day and age, with AI and all the filters and everything, it's sometimes very difficult to tell things from natural results as opposed to, you know, computer-generated results.
That's true. To me, it does look like he worked out a lot and he got rid of some of the bloating in his face. Do you see any other changes?
I mean, the physical changes, I mean, his cheekbones have significantly changed shape. The structure of his face is more like a V shape pointing towards his chin. He's got rid of some buccal fat, some cheek fat. Hairstyle obviously changed. So, you know, these can be real changes. Pretty dramatic over 4 months, but, you know, it can definitely appear like that.
Okay. So does that look like some neck lipo to you?
could be, again, very hard to tell. So for me, that looks like a very good result with liposuction.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
She had also a laser chin strap she was wearing there.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting technology. There is technology out there which is subtle. It's not going to cause dramatic results, but it can cause hair growth. We use it for the scalp. It can cause some loss of fat in isolated areas. But I think for dramatic results like that, you're looking at liposuction or even Kybella injections, which dissolve the fat.
Oh, okay. So basically, if you're Looksmaxxing to be like the healthiest version of yourself, then that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Within reason.
Yeah.
But if you're Looksmaxxing, I think also the issue that I see with it for people is that they're just so focused on comparing themselves to other people and their drastic results, and they're like, well, I want my jaw to look like that because hers did, and like I'm gonna try this injection because like everyone is so different that you cannot just look at someone's results and go, oh, like I need that too in a week.
We see that a lot too, and especially like in TikTok or Instagram, you see these results and you don't know what's going on with the results. You don't know if those results are real, whether they're AI generated or filter generated, or whether the patient was doing maybe injectables like weight loss, GLP-1s, etc. So you don't really know the framework of the results that you're trying to achieve, and those results may be impossible. So again, sort of, do your research, consult with professionals in that field to attain those results that you want to get.
My quick tip for Looksmaxxing, know your camera angles. That's such a simple way to, like if you go, it makes your jaw look skinnier, like it's all great.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one of the easiest ways too, without having to do too much
or much at all.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm FaceTiming like this versus I'm FaceTiming like this, I look so much better up here. So you know.
So camera angles, that's a way to look.
Camera maxing.
Camera maxing, yeah. And there are millions of videos just on that.
Oh, absolutely.
Looksmaxxing, that is taking the younger generation by storm. Looksmaxxing includes doing different activities that are designed to make you as attractive as possible. Things like smacking a hammer up against your cheekbones or injecting certain peptides or other drugs in order to become as masculine and as attractive as possible.
Smacking a hammer against your cheekbones? Like, what is the point of that?
Yeah, so basically what people theoretically are trying to do is trying to augment areas, make their bones stronger. So in the cheek here, there's a sinus, maxillary sinus, and it's a very thin, bony structure there. You can actually take your finger and push on it hard enough and you can break that. So it's a very thin structure, okay?
Geez.
And it doesn't take much to take a hammer and literally put it on your cheekbone and break that bone. So people are taking hammers and basically causing fractures on their face, allowing the bone to theoretically break and then re-heal. But people don't realize that when bones heal from a fracture, they're not as strong as they originally were. They're maybe about 95, 98%, depending on many, many factors, but they are never 110, 120% stronger than they were without the fracture. So basically patients are causing fractures of their face to reconstruct their face on their own. Not a great idea.
Oh my gosh.
And in one case too, the face is very complex, of course, but the orbit where your eyeball sits, it's like in this little cave. And the bottom of the cave is a very thin bone too. So in one case, a patient took a hammer, hammered it to the face, broke the bone, and the bone on the bottom of the eyeball flipped up and popped the eye, and he went blind.
Oh my gosh.
So not a good idea. Again, if you're thinking about physical enhancement, seek a professional, plastic surgeon for advice.
Oh my goodness.
Don't take hammers to your face at home, please.
I didn't realize people were fracturing their face purposefully.
Yeah.
Is it also like creating any scar tissue to maybe make that area look bigger to augment it at all?
Yeah, possibly, but
But their goal is to like fracture.
Their goal is to take a hammer and fracture the bone.
I guess, and they're thinking too that if this looks bigger, then this will look smaller.
Correct.
They're looking for that acorn shape.
Correct.
Another thing that was more popular last year and in the previous years is more natural looking enhancements over dramatic results as far as plastic surgery goes.
Yeah, I think that's a very important trend. I think it's a very healthy trend. Plastic surgery was invented, started, discovered to provide natural results. We weren't sort of going for these extreme, radical cat eyes kind of look. They're just plastic surgery was sort of started to return people back to normal or make you look a little bit super normal, but not crazy extreme normal.
Right. We're kind of also seeing less, even online, like on Instagram and stuff, of the people who come in wanting the 2000 cc implants
Correct.
and like the implants way too big for their bodies.
Correct. I hope we're seeing less of that. I think as a culture and as a generation, we've sort of seen that, and now people are returning more to normal. I definitely see it in the buttocks. People are returning more to more smaller buttocks. We definitely see that with breast implants. The national trend is towards smaller implants. So hopefully it's a cultural trend too.
Mm-hmm. We've also been seeing an increase in something called alloclay.
Yeah,
Do you want to
really
talk
cool.
about that?
So alloclay is a nice new source of fat. Basically, it's cadaveric fat. So we get fat from patients who have died, donated their bodies to medical science, and the fat has been harvested, purified, irradiated. Basically, it has no immune markers, so you can't have a reaction to it. And we take that pretty much unlimited fat source and inject that. The nice thing about alloclay is it can be injected in the office. You don't need general anesthesia for it. Usually we inject maybe about 100, 150, 200 cc's at a time, and then you can go back to work the same day. And you can do multiple series of these injections to reach your results. Alloclay typically lasts maybe about 5 to 8 years. Really depends on the person injecting it, where it's injected, and the survivability of the fat.
Okay.
Yeah. But usually in general, comparing alloclay to your own fat, in my opinion, your own fat is better because it's healthy, it's alive, it can be transferred from one area to the other, and once it's transferred to the other area, the fat actually gets new blood supply and can, in some cases, that fat can live forever.
Okay. Now, do you think that fat transfer has been a more common solution than dermal fillers for large volume augmentation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, the question is fat transfer more common now than the fillers? And in my opinion, yes. I think people are getting bigger areas filled, and to fill bigger areas, fat does much better than natural fillers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I think also, people having the fat to spare has led to more fat transfers these days too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is good, which is better for you.
Correct. And you.
The last thing we've seen an increase over is male cosmetic procedures.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
I think we definitely see it in our practice, more and more male patients seeking out plastic surgery, whether it's after weight loss, whether it's after silicone injections, or just general cosmetic plastic surgery.
Did you used to notice that a lot of the males versus females would actually kind of like deal with their loose skin and try to hide it under their clothes versus a lot of women would actually get the procedures?
Correct. So we've seen more of a trend of more males coming in for tummy tucks, body lifts, thigh lifts, chest reductions after significant weight loss than before.
You have some months where you have more male patients for skin removal than female
Absolutely.
patients.
So it sort of depends on patient flow and what's happening, but definitely an increase in male patients seeking aesthetic and cosmetic plastic surgery.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's cultural too. I think it is more of an acceptance of plastic surgery being sort of mainstream for men and women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that, and I think like the whole self-care, self-love, maybe Looksmaxxing in a sense,
Could be,
like people are willing to invest into their bodies and to take that step, especially because a lot of times they've lost all this weight already.
Correct. And I think also social media has a significant impact.
True.
I mean, men are saying, oh, more men are having these procedures done. Why can't I have it done?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of like a I don't have to live like this kind of situation too.
True.
Awesome. All right, well, it was fun recapping the surgeries of 2025 and the trends going on. Looksmaxxing, pretty crazy stuff. It can be okay to an extent, but don't go too nuts with it.
Like everything, don't go crazy.
Yeah. So if you find yourself kind of like hyper fixated on Looksmaxxing or anything, maybe seek professional help. Don't try to do it on your own. Don't do all of these DIY things, you know.
Just be careful of what you're doing online. Be careful of what you're researching, investigating, and relying on your body's ability to heal from a 15-second TikTok video where you have no idea really what's going on. So if you're concerned about things and the way things are healing and ways you want to look, seek professional advice.
And this might sound corny, but I think the best way to Looksmaxx actually is to be a good person and to be a good person to other people. I think the most beautiful people are like the kindest people, so.
I think so too. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Katzen.
Thank you.
And let's catch up again next week.
Sounds
Thank you,
good.
Fairgrounds.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Fairgrounds. Cheers.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.